Excuse me. Hi. The film that you did last night of Dr. Elvis, is that up on YouTube or up anywhere for streaming? It's on Facebook, under the Sedona International Film Festival. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.
And the emergency department is a place where 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of what your need is, what your concern is, it's a place where you could go and find the comfort of knowing someone will be there to help you walk through that. Someone will be there, whether it be to save your life, hold your hand, or just be what you need in that moment to provide you with that peace. And I think that's what's most special and beautiful about emergency medicine. At Northern Arizona Healthcare, we recognize that emergency services are necessary in all of the communities that we serve. We're dedicated and committed to keeping those emergency services available to our communities in the Flagstaff area, the Sedona area, and the Verde Valley area. What I would tell you about the folks that work at Northern Arizona Healthcare is that they're here for the right reasons. They're here to make a difference. They're here to care about their neighbor. It's so raw and honest and real. That's why we do what we do at Northern Arizona Healthcare, is to serve our communities.
Welcome to the 28th Annual Sedona International Film Festival, featuring the best independent films from around the world. A special thank you to our title sponsor, Northern Arizona Healthcare. We also want to thank our presenting sponsors, Yavapai College, the City of Sedona, Cleaner Quicker Car Wash, the Clean Family Foundation, Goldenstein Gallery, BMO Harris Bank, Karen Dunlap Caldwell Banker Global Luxury. Our title and presenting sponsors are wearing light blue lanyards. If you see them around the festival, please thank them for their generous financial support. And please thank the dozens of festival sponsors and donors who make our festival possible. You'll find the complete list on page 2 of your festival program, and they'll be spotted around the festival wearing bright pink lanyards. Please thank them for their contribution to the success of the festival. A special thank you to the sponsor of this theater, Goldenstein Gallery. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the festival. And now, here's your theater host.
Thank you, John. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday night. Are you excited for a great documentary? Are you ready to be inspired and entertained? Yes? Good, good, good. You're going to make the whole filmmaking crew very, very happy because they're really nervous back there. So thank you so much. Welcome. Please help me thank, of course, our incredible tech team that makes the magic happen up here. Jeremy Ferguson and Shane Richards. Thank you, guys, for making us look and sound so good. Give a big round of applause to all of our sponsors, the title sponsors, presenting sponsors, everybody. And I'd like to give a special shout out. You've heard us mention this all throughout the festival. It takes a whole bunch of hospitality and a whole bunch of wonderful donations to house our visiting filmmakers. Our hospitality industry donates hundreds and hundreds of nights to house our filmmakers, and we are so grateful for that. And tonight, Deborah Haynes, where are you at? Deborah? There she is, Skyrock Inn of Sedona. Stand up, give a nice round of applause. Skyrock Inn of Sedona is hosting our filmmakers for this film, for State of the Unity. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it, Deborah. Tell your whole team thank you so much. And we want to, of course, remind you that tomorrow all the magic starts to happen as well over at Yavapai College Sedona campus, right across the street. Okay, that's going to be our home for our VIP lounge. It's actually kicking off tonight. If you have a VIP pass, platinum pass, a sponsor pass, those kind of things. Our first party, our first official off-site party is tonight as we unveil the VIP lounge at 9 o'clock. Actually, after this is done, you're going to stay for the concert. So we're going to head over there right after that. The shuttle also starts running tomorrow, not tonight. So get in your car and drive or walk across the street. And it's going to just run back and forth between the VIP lounge and SPAC, back and forth between here and there. So you can just find there's lots of parking over there. There's lots of parking here at the Performing Arts Center. If you're hanging out at the films here or going to the workshops, which also start tomorrow over there, just stay in one place and take the shuttle over. It's really nice and convenient. The 2 workshops tomorrow, they're free of charge, open to the public, first come, first served. We hope all of our filmmakers go and anyone else who wants to see a glimpse behind the curtain of making films. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock is a documentary filmmaking roundtable, Docs That Make a Difference. And at 1 o'clock, we've got 2 wonderful representatives, Alyssa and Talia, from United Talent Agency, talking about representation and getting representation for yourself and your film. So it's not going to be, you're not going to want to miss that, especially you filmmakers. They're free of charge, 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock over at Yavapai College. And we didn't realize this. This is the funniest thing, because we forget we're in Sedona sometimes. Everyone's been saying, so what building is going to be on the campus of Yavapai College? It's one building and one building only. You cannot possibly get lost. It's the only building. So it's right across the street. Yes, I realize campus assumes that there's a lot more, but in Sedona we do things on a smaller scale here. One building. So head on over there. We appreciate that very much and hope you enjoy the fun. Remember, all you cool kids, there's a lot of young, wonderful young people, a lot of wonderful older people, myself included. When you're doing all those cool things on social media, remember to hashtag Sedona Film Fest and Sedona Film Fest 2022. So make sure you get us all over in your social media channels. It's been happening all weekend long. We're getting a lot of great feedback. All right, are your cell phones turned off? Oh, cool, very cool. Make sure we want to whisk you away to this road trip for the next 90 minutes or so without interruption from the outside world. And also, you got a ballot when you came in, yes? You're going to vote on this film. You're going to vote on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being best. Tear what represents how you feel about the film. And when you exit, hand it to our wonderful volunteers. Don't we have the greatest volunteers in the whole world here at the Sedona Film Festival? On about day 3 or 4, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, they start responding really well to chocolate, so they love gifts. So do help us out and reward our volunteers. They work very, very hard and tirelessly for all of you. It gives me great pleasure. We look for such wonderful films, and there's 145 of the best from around the world, including this film tonight. And especially when there's a Sedona connection to a film, it even makes us happier that we can be part of this film's journey. And may I say, the filmmakers are seeing this film for the very first time on a big screen with a public audience tonight. So it's very, very cool. And you're going to get to hear a concert by the Bergamot, the band that's featured in the film, after the show. So what's going to happen tonight, before I introduce the film, is we're going to have the film, we're going to show the film, we're going to do a brief Q&A with 3 of the filmmakers, and then we're going to be setting the stage for a quick, short 3 or 4 song concert by the band that you're going to hear that does this road trip. Okay, so it's really going to be a wonderful night. Jillian, Nathaniel, you're making us stay up way past Sedona's bedtime, but God, it's going to be fun. So stay up. I know we can do this. We can stay up after 9 o'clock. We can. It's only for 9 days of the year we can hibernate next week. But the cool part of this story is, 2 years ago, we at the Sedona Film Festival were so lucky that we got our film festival in before the pandemic hit. Literally 2 days after our festival closed, and we were open and successful for all 9 days. 2 days after our festival closed, South by Southwest announced they were canceling their festival, which was to take place the next week because of COVID. This wonderful band, the Bergamot, indie folk band, was scheduled to play 10 engagements in 8 days at South by Southwest. And their world was suddenly turned upside down, including opening for One Republic, which is a huge thing for an indie band. Yes, give them a round of applause. That's a big, big thing. And suddenly, they and all the other bands and filmmakers and films that were going to be showing at South by Southwest, it all ended. And we all closed. The theaters closed. So this film that you're seeing tonight was actually shot prior to the pandemic. And you all read the synopsis, so I'm not going to go into the synopsis, but they wanted to find out if unity was possible. And if you all remember, right before that, we were going through kind of a contentious election. And this film, their journey became something that didn't matter if you were Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, it didn't matter. What does unity mean to you? And is unity achievable? And they took a 50,000-mile journey. Well, where Sedona comes in is the wonderful Deborah and Jeff Flieger, who brought our attention to this film. Here they are. Stand up, take a little wave. I know you're shy. Jeff, stand up, take a wave. It's Jeff's birthday today? Today? All right, we gotta do it, everybody. Happy birthday. Yeah, Jeff, that'll teach you for not standing up when I ask you to stand up. Let that be a warning to all of you. But what happened was, Jeff and Deborah met these filmmakers on a beach a few years ago. When their journey and life suddenly changed, they offered their beautiful Sedona home for 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever you want. They had an extra place to stay. They opened their home and gave it to Jillian and Nathaniel to come in and, yes, write music, edit the film, do whatever they needed to do, being surrounded by Sedona's red rocks and the creativity that's here. So this journey, this film, has such a germination and a wonderful part that was done here in Sedona. New films on, you said Periscope, right? There's a YouTube video of their song Periscope that was actually shot on their guest house balcony. So Google search it tonight when your phones are turned back on. YouTube video for Periscope by the Bergamot. It was shot right here on Sedona on their deck. So it's a really wonderful connection. So when they came to me, I didn't know any of the story. And suddenly they come to me and say, hey Pat, we got these great filmers, they just did a great film, blah, blah, blah. And they're friends of mine, and you always go, oh no, what if it's bad? And they hooked me up with these incredible filmmakers who are also the band members of the Bergamot, that's their band. And it was a love fest from then on. It's such a great film with such a great message, and they're just incredible humans, above and beyond anything else. I'm so honored to know you. We're going to have a wonderful Q&A with the two of them and their editor and assistant director after the show, and then we're going to go right into the performance. So buckle your seatbelts. It's going to be a wonderful ride for the next 2 hours. Thank you all so much, and please enjoy State of the Unity.
What's your New Year's resolution?
Unity.
You wanna catch a ride, find our way out of here. I can't take this life. I'll pack these bags and run away. I've been thinking for quite some time. I wanna try again, fly again, set my sights on the sky and fly away.
The morning commute, of course, can be tough everywhere, but what if you were driving all over the U.S. to help someone else? I met a couple heading all 50 states by car for charity, and wait till you see what they're gathering and giving along the way.
In October, the car will be auctioned off. All money will go to Memorial Children's Hospital in their hometown of South Bend, Indiana. The message of unity, one they lead wherever they go.
My name is Nathaniel Hoff. I've been a singer-songwriter for my whole life. I was the middle of 3 kids, born in Northwest Indiana. And when you're born in Northwest Indiana, you're born, baptized, and wrapped in an ordained jersey all within the first 5 minutes of your life.
My name is Jillian Spees. I was born and raised in South Bend, Indiana. Growing up in South Bend, I always knew that I wanted to be an artist because I love bringing people together. I went to Marion High School where I met Nathaniel Hoff, who is now my husband and the other half of the Bergamot.
There was a period of 5 years in my life that were packed with life memories. In 2013, I got married. In 2014, we moved to New York City. In 2015, we had been touring a lot of colleges on the East Coast and playing some colleges in the South and in the Midwest as well. And we had started to feel a divide happening in the country that was very palpable.
Patrick, with so much division in America, where do you think people are at right now?
Clearly, we're in a crisis, and people are in pain, and they're just looking to numb the pain. Why do people even go down that road? Inequality, wages are not keeping up. People are not confident they're going to live the American dream. The idea of going to college and now you're saddled with debt and don't even know if you're going to have a permanent job. It's dividing people and people are getting hurt. It's extremely dangerous and in many ways growing more dangerous.
People are getting very frustrated because they can't find the source of whatever might be troubling them. So I think there's this pulling apart in a way because the institutions that used to hold people together, their place of employment was generally local. Their banks were generally local. And I think we're living in an era where so much of what is happening in the country is out of the control of individuals. So I think it's creating disconnects in a way that didn't happen before. And it's made it harder for local communities to bind together.
In the midst of a chaos in which both demographically, but also in terms of power, in terms of positioning, in terms of inclusion, there is a sense of precarity, like our lives. What's on the other side of this chaos is unpredictable, is unknowable, and so it is threatening to everyone.
As a sociologist, I can tell you it's a broader structural problem of jobs, income inequality, and access to the American dream. And I see it, the fear in my students, we invested all of this, and now what? What if we can't pay off our debts? What if we don't get a job that continues to pay the bills? Because it doesn't look like you get people like me who came here, stayed for 35 years and retired. That's just not gonna happen. People are scared and in a lot of pain. The kind of narrow-minded bigotry appeals to people's fears.
Conflict simplifies narratives. Like, in order to deal with conflict, we almost always destroy or discard complexity.
All hate is based on ignorance, and fear. And that's what people are feeling deeply across this country right now.
So what's going to make it possible to get to the other side is a vision, is a sense of hopefulness and a vision of what is possible. And this is where the notion of unity actually comes in, is because most of the time people are trying to build unity as a space of consensus. Like, we all agree and that's what makes for unity. And what's going to allow unity to contribute to us getting through this period of crisis is to create a space for dissensus, to know that we can actually disagree and that there's still space for us on the other side. And so it's not building a shared narrative of a future. It's building a narrative of a shared future.
"2015 did not feel like a normal election period. And I think that was because of all the people we were meeting on our tour and the conversations we were having. Things felt off, people felt pinched, things were tighter, people were more worried than I've ever seen them. Well, I think that as an artist, we have a great responsibility to use our art as a platform to bring people together and to make people's lives a little bit better. And I think as a person, music was always something in my life that helped me feel a lot better. I'd feel very inspired and encouraged to go out into the world and to do something for someone else. When I felt these divides happening in 2015, I felt a responsibility as an artist to go out into the world and bring goodness back. Just do one little thing to make someone smile.
Music is the great unifier, and that is why I wanted to use music as a means to bring people together in a year where the country was starting to divide more vigorously than I'd ever seen before. In our culture, we're bred to believe that we can't make a change, that we can't have a social impact. We wanted to resist that idea. We wanted to stand up and say, even with the meager resources that we had living in New York City, living paycheck to paycheck, we wanted to stand up and say that we can participate in the future of this country.
The Unity Collective was an idea that Nathaniel came up with in the car, and when he told me this for the first time, I was just like, I had chills everywhere.
To me, I remember the night that the Unity Collective idea was created as being such a normal night, such an average night.
Empowering everybody to believe that their voice can be heard and that they have a platform to speak just like everybody else. If anything, we would start with quotes of what people say Unity is and what people have shared their wisdom, and I would use that.
By having people sign their names next to each other, that it is an act of unity to stand next to someone of a different political party, of a different race, of a different religion. And so by creating a space where people could come together, we hoped to resist this narrative of division and hate that was starting to emerge in 2015. This wasn't going to be an idea that we were going to research and plot out for months and months and then be able to execute perfectly. This was just two musicians with a car, a guitar, and their voices, believing that there was something better out in the world and that we could somehow pull that out by showing the ultimate vulnerability, going in a car and asking people to sign it and going from state to state with no grand plan other than to bring people together in a very divided year. With what was happening in the country at the time, we felt that we needed to go immediately.
Started the Unity Collective, we just knew that it was kind of nearing the end of its life because it had 264,000 miles when we started. The first day was January 2nd of 2016, and always at the beginning of a project, there's a lot of energy and momentum, and you're just like, wow, we're doing this is crazy, I have the unexpected things to come, you're not sure what's going to happen. And for me personally, I remember it being pretty split between this is going to be awesome and I'm absolutely I'm terrified and anxious.
I think what we need.
Sharpies on deck.
Sharpies on deck, at least some of them. It's traditional Sharpies.
Sharpie Pro?
Yeah.
On wet and oily surfaces?
Yes, so definitely
So we are currently headed to Manhattan from Brooklyn, and we are about to find a parking spot for the Unity Collective Tour car, which we're in right now, but we are going to take the stage at 8 p.m. at Rockwood Music Hall for our first ever Unity Collective launch party. It's the first date on the entire tour of all 50 states, so pretty pumped.
Yeah, throw Grace in there, that's a really great one.
Where do you want it?
Maybe up here.
Okay, so what song do you want to end on? We're definitely going to end on this one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're good.
Great.
Down the street, it's broken corners of you and me. But in this world, love is free. But you gotta, oh, you gotta believe.
After this, our car is parked right out there, and we have Sharpies ready to go. We just ask that you refrain from the windshield.
Whatever in your heart, whatever is rusty in your heart that represents unity and represents peace to you, write that phrase, sign your name. Just like an ode to
This is the inaugural signing.
Okay.
This is it. This is the first. There we go.
That's like some Picasso stuff right there.
I wrote from the car, embrace differences. Peace and love, infinity, forever.
My name is Kelly, and what I wrote was give love and be loved. My addition to the car is all for one and one for all.
Smile at someone you don't know because that usually makes their day.
Right on, man.
This conversation that would move from town to town, city to city, state to state, all in every single state. And we thought, this is such a great way to bring people together who would never talk to each other.
It's much harder to try and understand someone than it is to judge someone. And if we want to be called to do better in life, I think we have to see if we can understand people better than just trying to judge them and walk away. This journey of understanding people, not as I want them to be, but as they are, was one of the most difficult journeys of my life.
It's never a majority that changes the world, you know. The changes have only come about from a small group of dedicated people, and it's always been that way.
After the first round of signatures, the car shows up somewhere else. People have to find their space in the car in order to write theirs, and it doesn't require that they do violence to anybody else's. They find their way, they carve out a small niche for themselves to contribute to and to contribute their narrative. And then the narrative moves on, carrying everybody's expressions together and goes forward into the next space where others get to contribute parts of their own expression to it without necessarily doing violence or erasing somebody else's.
So what would you say about building unity?
You gotta have friends of other races. If you don't have friends of other races, your kids are not gonna have friends of other races. If you don't go to a mixed race church, if you just stay in your little bubble, then your kids are gonna be just like that. You've gotta have friends of other races. You've gotta be willing to go outside of your bubble and have, just be willing to do things. So there's an opportunity for people to mix and meld all the time. If you're not educated about other people, then there won't be any unity. But people just gotta be able to step outside and see it.
Made our way from New York City all the way down to Florida. We've had stops in Raleigh, which has been amazing. We've met some incredible people. We're laying the groundwork for what's going to be happening over the next couple months, which has been incredible.
I always wanted to know you.
We just felt so called in that moment. You have to go now. You have to do this right in this moment. You can't wait a day. You just have to figure it out. And that's why everything was chaotic, because we had no lead time.
How many minutes till checkout? Or do we have to be? We have 1 minute to get out of this hotel.
They charge us $100. Yeah, I was explaining earlier that this is really like you're always on the run. It's kind of like half Bonnie and Clyde style, but you didn't steal anything or blow up anything or rob a bank. So
Austin, let's go.
Ready?
Oh my gosh, this is breakfast? What do we get from a vending machine? Blueberry Greek yogurt chips. Peanut almond cashew mix. Ooh, rice and bean. Nice.
Oh boy. You know, I knew this was gonna be tough. I didn't know this was gonna be this tough. Or you'd be sleeping on the ground, or you're sleeping at random people's houses. You're sleeping sometimes in the car. Like, we literally were doing whatever it took to get to all 50 states to spread a message of unity.
Right.
We're sleeping in the car tonight. Yes, it's true. And we just finished duct taping.
All right, here's our abode for the night.
We're booking a tour right now.
Right.
That gives me, the thing is, like, this whole thing has been really chaotic because I'm used to having 2 month lead time, and I can do anything in 2 months. Anything's possible.
Sure. It's okay to have a down day and regroup. That's what we were gonna do anyways.
When we do perform on the street, which we will, it's gonna be really vibey and pretty. I think it would be cool just to get Miles.
My problem is I think it's a step backward from what we've been doing. Basically, the way that it worked was we would go, spend $100, $200 in gas, get to our next location, set up a show, and those shows could range from anything from a college show to a living room show to it could be venues, it could be non-venues, it could be traditional, non-traditional.
There you go.
We'll play that from the hood of the car.
We were homeless, the windows were open, watching the planes fly by. The clouds were rolling, salty air from the ocean. Those lights burning up in the sky. Worried about the words you said, about the words you said, about the words you said. 'Cause I feel like I've waited all my life. Oh no, oh no.
Ding 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 ding.
Wrong way.
You guys are ready. We have these beautiful musicians. We came all the way down to Brooklyn. They are on a tour, and we're lucky enough to have them stop in Atlanta and play for us.
Yes.
So we're really, really excited to have them here. So thank you guys.
Thanks for
A guy that I really, really love has taught me so much is a guy named Parker Palmer. And one of the mantras that he has is when things get rough, turn to wonder. But it's actually one of the things that art really does is it invites you into those spaces. And so you have to look at what they've produced, hear what they're doing, and then wonder. I wonder what it is. Like, I'm feeling something in the midst of this harmony or this melody. I'm wondering what it is that they were hoping to evoke.
Remember what I said, forget about tomorrow.
and we knew that the car was going to experience some sort of transformation through the art. And so we knew that every dollar that could come in, if we could make our case to people, and some people were really passionate about it, some people not so passionate about it. And so, but what we were saying was night after night to everybody that we met, we are the Bergamot. This is what we're doing. We're going to all 50 states. If you feel moved by this message, come buy a record, come buy a CD, and do whatever you can to help us get to the next place. You know, just getting through, trying to make sure we don't make any major mistakes, but you know, we're allowed those every once in a while too, so.
Hey, you know, everybody something now and then, and that's why they call them accidents.
Exactly.
So, you know.
And then you write songs about them, and then it's okay.
Do you have the registration for the car?
Yes. Sure.
I'm going to cite you. It's too dangerous. We get a lot of accidents there because you can't cut across 5 lanes of traffic like that.
Do you know how much it is?
I have no idea.
Does it say on there? It's like, you could be $300, could be $60.
Whatever.
You'd be partially correct that our finances are out of control. But only partially. Because we're working, and we got money coming in, but we also have money going out.
The problem is we have more money going out than is coming in right now.
We share a lot in common with a lot of other Americans. Live paycheck to paycheck trying to describe it.
Forget about tomorrow. On this day. Forget about tomorrow. On this day. On this day.
We're hitting the road again. We're headed to DC from Norfolk. For so many years we didn't know exactly what our thing was. But you and I always love being united with people, especially outcasts.
Well, yeah, that, and I also feel like...
Because for many years we felt like outcasts.
Your team and your power is inside of you. The more you manifest it outwardly, people will gravitate toward you. Like family is what you build. It's not always what you're given. So find your family, just like you found your family.
Oh.
It says we love you. It's amazing. That's what it says. It says that we love you and everything. So what does that sign mean?
It means PR in Hindi.
And what does that mean?
It love. Love. Believe in love. Love you guys. Believe in love.
We are on our way to Atlanta. Had a show yesterday in Philadelphia, basically Camden, New Jersey, and we started the day in DC. So we went DC, Baltimore, Philly, Camden, Philly, Baltimore, DC, and then Virginia, and now we're in North Carolina, and now we're headed to Atlanta for our show this afternoon.
Hashtag.
Like, it's a little crazy.
So 16 hours later or more?
Definitely step out of the car for a minute.
There were so many incredible stories. I remember pumping gas. We were getting more towards the south. And he's in the gas station getting snacks or going to the bathroom or something. And I see a guy who starting to like approach me very quickly. And he says, "So what's the deal with the car?" I was like, "Oh, it's the Unity car." And then I was just like not gonna tell too much more because I wasn't sure what to do. And then he's like, "Oh, cool." And I was like, "You can sign it if you want." So I started talking to him, and he's like, "Man," he's like, "this is really cool." He's like, "I've never seen anything like this." He's like, "Man, I really needed this today bad." Because he's like, "I'm reading all these messages of positivity." And he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "It's been really rough 24 hours. I was like, "Really, what happened?" And he's like, "I just lost my best friend to a heroin overdose." And was like, really? I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm going deep, his name was Sean, and he's like, yeah, he's like, it's been awful. And he like, his hand was kind of shaking, and he was getting ready to sign the card, and he was pulling something out of his pocket, and he showed me this picture of this like beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde-haired woman, and he's like, yeah, she was my best friend, and he's like, she just died, and he's like, it's been really bad, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I gave him a big hug, and then I just did like a little prayer for him. He signed peace and love, and then he wrote his name Sean, and I just remember his eyes. He had like these beautiful blue eyes, and just so much pain. And just to be able to be there for him in that moment, and just to see like how much joy that brought him was incredible. And you know, I started seeing his message fade. You just like would go over it and be like, I wonder where he is. Yeah, I hope he's doing okay. It was in those moments where you just like realize, it's like if you grab a stone and you throw it into a pond that's calm, like how far those ripples go.
You know, at the end of the day, people everywhere want the same thing. They want to be loved. They want their children to be okay. They want their children to grow up to have a good life. They want people that they love to be healthy and know that they're cared for and loved and so on. Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that.
Campaign event in Sioux City, Iowa on Saturday. Donald Trump, not exactly mincing words, said his supporters are super loyal to him. Even if he were to shoot someone in the streets of New York.
My people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say.
It's very emotionally draining. It's difficult. You know, those are just tough times when we're on the road, and it's just really hard to see, you know, what are we doing? Yeah, what is the effect of what we're doing?
People are looking for scapegoats. It resonated 100 years ago, and it resonates now, because people are in pain, and they're looking where the blame goes. And they're saying, oh, it must be them. It's those people who are the problem. And of course, it's not those people.
So we were at a rest stop, and immediately we were greeted by this trucker from Texas. And I say that because that was like, when we opened the door, he was like, what is this? And like, oh, it's called the Unity Collective, you know, we're going all 50 states. And he's like, I'm from Texas. And you're like, okay, cool, like, you know, if you want to sign it, like, we'd love to have somebody from Texas sign it. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And then he walked away. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just where we're at right now. So as he's walking away, another family's walking towards us. It's a family from China, and immediately they see the car, and it's like a completely different experience. Like, they see the car and they light up, and the youngest, their child, kind of walks up and kind of in broken English is like, what is this? Very interesting. And we're like, well, it's called the Unity Collective, and you know, we're trying to have people sign the car and tell us their message of unity. And she's like, can we sign? And he's like, yes. And she said, we don't really write in English. And he said, no, this is great. We'd love to have all languages, Chinese, French, wherever you come from, tell your story, share it on the car, that type of thing. They're signing the car. Lo and behold, the guy from Texas turns around, and he's coming back towards us. I'm like, okay, you know, let's see how this goes. And so he's like, I want to sign the car. And then all of a sudden, he saw the family. In that moment, I remember he just kind of belted out like, oh, I heard you guys make great Chinese food. And I just remembered thinking to myself, oh, this could get out of hand, because if they reacted poorly to that comment, and then he reacted more poorly to their reaction, which was completely possible. So he's signing, you could just kind of tell there was a high level of uncomfortableness in the air at this point.
So at that point, she says,
I hope everyone can be safe, be sound and safe, like all the way.
as they said that, I could sense something in him change. It was like his energy had shifted, he softened, he kind of had this like moment of like almost waking up. And I remember him kind of leaning over to me and just being like, he's like, man, I basically wrote the same thing. His demeanor from this like hostile character had now changed to this openness. Kind of looked at us and he said,
That's good. I like it when you do stuff like that because you don't see stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you don't. That's the truth.
Take care.
You too, thank you.
That's cool.
That was great.
Because you never know, it's like, that's an experience that you can take with him.
Yeah, it really is. That was really great.
That's how you make change.
You can't have democracy if people can't talk with one another, right? We've got to figure out a way to get together first. And it's that dialogue. And if music is one of the ways that can bring us there, and I think it is one of the ways, and I think the other arts as well, are ways that can draw people in. I think it's the same thing. Everybody can learn to be a social, cooperative, respectful person in spite of other differences that we have and disagreements.
Wherever he goes in his journey now, wherever he takes that story and wherever the family takes their story, at the time that we met, in the context that we met, of this like heightened people and popular culture and the things that were being said were so absurd and hurtful and hateful. But now we had instilled in these two situations such different narratives of what was going on in the country. And the thing was, it was so grassroots and so hopeful that we left there thinking, hopefully he takes this story to a bar in Dallas somewhere, and the next time something like this comes up, maybe he'll say, well, I had an experience that doesn't line up with what this guy's saying.
This is what I've learned as an educator in 50 years of working on this. Of trying to get people to understand diversity and appreciate and more than just tolerate, but appreciate diverse people and diverse perspectives, is when they see something through somebody else's eyes, they develop empathy. People don't, ultimately it's a people-to-people thing. People connect. I'm just overwhelmed by how powerful that process is.
Part of the reason we did the Unity Collective in the first place was to bring people together, to remind each other that we're human, to stay in a space of radical empathy for each other. You don't know where anyone's at on the road.
This song, if I wait too long, it'll all be gone.
Take it away. They had lost a loved one. They just graduated from high school, or they're getting ready to go to college. They're real nervous, or
We had Brits sign in the car apologizing because of Brexit.
Yes,
because they felt like
we did.
I remember
like so
that.
sorry.
We
Yeah.
had gangsters trying to write all over the
graffiti
car.
stuff
and
like that was their mark.
Destroy it.
Everything that you could ever imagine happened in this car.
I wrote the end of this song, if I wait too long, it'll all be gone. We'll just roll along.
You know what makes Texas so great?
What makes Texas great?
Good people like you coming here.
I love that. Well, be well.
We'll just roll along.
We pulled to Portland, Oregon. It's a late night. Friends hosting us.
Thanks so much.
Oh, you just sent her over. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. So we go to sleep, and I'll never forget the sound of our friend Amy's voice kind of knocking on the door and being like,
Quivering.
It looks like you had your car broken into. And we were like,
what the heck? Oh, whoa.
We run out to the car. We look at the car. We're like, hands on our heads. We're just thinking about the whole thing.
Why? There's like, oh wow, they tried to break. Shit. They've tried to break this one and that one.
It looks like what they did though is that they grabbed everything and pulled it to that side to see if there was anything that they should take. And they were like, there's nothing.
I went to tune my ukulele, and this whole piece was completely just, they took our Neumanns, all of your pedals. I don't think our insurance is gonna cover any of that.
So we're gonna have to file a police report.
I spent the last 10 minutes crying.
It took us 5 years to save up enough money to get those microphones and to buy that gear. And then in a moment, somebody can come and just take it. These are the things that, keep me up at night. These are the things that wear on our relationship.
When we got to Portland, and there were some crooks there who broke into our car and stole it away. Now the world can seem so strange when you're only a mile away. But we must stand tall. Together we rise, apart we fall.
Alright, well, let's work on canceling some stuff. We gotta cancel some stuff. We gotta let people know what's going on. We can just make a basic post right now, and then we'll just say, due to circumstances outside of our control, we gotta cancel some stuff.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
Probably get this all the time, but
Yes?
Yes, what's up with the car?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at, this is called the Unity car, and we are going to all 50 states touring. We're a husband-wife band, and we are spreading a message of unity and love and showing America that we are more united than we are divided. Would you like to sign it?
I would love to sign that car.
Awesome.
My name is DeLorean, guys. Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm Jillian. DeLorean pleasure. This is Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, very nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Made my heart jump. Literally. Because we don't see stuff like this anymore. We don't. I swear we don't. And it's getting to the point where I'm starting to feel emotional about it because, like I said, we don't see stuff like this anymore. If nobody makes the effort to go and try to show someone something different, you're just stuck in that box, you know?
So much
Thank
love,
you guys
man.
for coming.
He just brought us what had been lost. He just restored what was lost. Unbelievable. Oh my God.
In that moment, we were just trying to decide what we wanted to do, and it was those times shake you up, and when you get shaken up, you get knocked off wherever you think you're headed, and you get back to these bigger questions that you have to ask about yourself. Like, what do I want to do that's human and connected?
We would talk for hours, and we just wanted to bring music to people and change people's lives and make them happy, even if it was for 3 minutes. That was always a mission of ours.
In this entire journey, I think vulnerability and humility is a huge theme, but I think in that moment, kind of having another resetting or calibrating of the system, you feel this is just the world saying, hey, if you want to rise up to this challenge, then you got to keep pushing through.
The Unity car, basically, and I did it for Nice Stalkers Don't Quit, NSDQ. What it stands for is my dad's military motto, Nice Stalkers Don't Quit. When he was in his 5th round of chemo, which he died 11 years ago of colon cancer, he got down and did 10 push-ups with his unit, and by the time he got up, he was exhausted for over a week, maybe even 2 weeks, and he got up and he looked at me dead in the eyes and he's like, Night Stalkers don't quit. You don't give up on yourself, you don't give up on your family, you don't give up on your friends. So, NSDQ, you guys don't give up. Keep going, keep rocking.
Aww. I have chills. I just thought because I'm cold. That is beautiful.
For a long time, I felt like the outsider. I felt like the black sheep. I felt like, you know, I didn't belong or connected. And, you know, it just takes 1, 2, 3 people to just kind of transform and change your life. Just keep fighting for it, because nothing is given for free, and it's not given easily.
You and I, our love is shared, and when we play shows, we share that love with a greater audience. But then when you see our car, like, that's like a physical extension of that. It's just, it's a manifestation of our love. That's what we've put out into the world, because that's what we do. So it's just natural. And when people see it, it just makes sense. It's like, yes, that makes sense, because your shows are this, and you were this, so the car is just a physical manifestation of that. So I just think that people just manifest into their lives what they want.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to Anchorage, Alaska. The time here is about 8:40.
Just landed.
Hey, Alaska, we did it! We are here!
As musicians, they're sharing their music and gathering signatures on their Unity car along the way, and part of the Unity Collective USA Peace Movement. Here in Russell, Alaska, off their list, the Brooklyn-based artist Julian Speaks and Nathaniel Carlton.
We love Alaska!
It's our moose! 3 mooses! Meese! And we knew that we had to go to Alaska, we knew we had to go to Hawaii. It was a big mission for us. And how we did that is we disassembled panels off of the car and like took them into the airport and then brought them to that state and then had everyone sign the panels and then reassemble them onto the car when we got back. So we have a Hawaii panel, we have a Alaskan panel. And after our gear was stolen in Portland, we didn't have the money for a place to stay in Hawaii. So that left us sleeping on the floor at the yogashala we were performing at the next day. Unfortunately, that wasn't even the worst part.
We just made it here to the yoga center that we were going to be performing at, and it is 11:30. That's freaking crazy. The camera. Okay, we just had that conversation. So I went outside and said, hey, is there anything we should know about? And they're completely harmless. Like, he said they look like tarantulas, but they're not poisonous, they can't hurt you, they look terrifying, but he's like, don't even worry about them. He's like, they can't bite you, they can't hurt you.
It's great.
Are you tired at all?
Yeah.
So the next morning we wake up and I'm like, I'll go get the clothes. And so I open up my bag and it's just infested with ants. Ants everywhere.
Fire
and I'm like, no, all over my clothes, everything that I have.
Good enough or something,
What?
He likes me, Smells good. I'm exhausted.
24 hours of travel.
And I was up for hours before that.
Oh, just going from like 100 miles an hour to 0. It's not easy for me. It's beautiful here, but yeah. And you know, we're not on vacation. This isn't like, hey, let's just hang up the hat for 6 days. This is, you know, we're here working.
I'm trying to figure out sleeping accommodations that aren't going to bust the bank out. It's $99 a night for a decent Airbnb.
I got 99 problems, and a place to stay is 1.
No, I got 99 problems and
it's been a great trip.
yeah, it really has been.
Cool. wasn't without its challenges. But it was fun.
It's true.
All in all.
I'm gonna miss it here.
Hey, we're gonna get ready for a show. It's gonna be a great show tonight.
And then
Peace.
catch a flight. But this morning, my mom's like, call me right away. So I called her and I knew something was wrong. And I'm really close to my Uncle Dennis. And she said that he had passed away yesterday trying to clean the pool in Arizona. So, never catching a flight.
After finding out the news of Uncle Dennis's passing, we flew back to Los Angeles from Hawaii. From there, we would then drive on to Las Vegas.
On our way back from Hawaii, my family let us know that they had decided to do a celebration of life for my Uncle Dennis in Cleveland, Ohio, 6 weeks later on July 17th. And ironically, this was the exact same week as the Republican National Convention.
At that time, we had planned to attend the celebration of life, but not the convention.
Boy, does it feel good to be back in the Unity car. Looks like we got some sun, huh?
This whole piece is Hawaii.
This one over here is Alaska.
And this one is Alaska.
Look, man, anytime you guys need like a tough time and want to pray or something,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
late night, just call me, man. Just shoot me a text like, hey, I'm gonna call you, whatever, you know, and just like.
Yeah, no, for sure. We get there. Las Vegas, love it.
What does unity mean to you?
Everybody, no matter where you're from, what you do, your sexual preference is just unity. Accepting people for who they are, as well as being human, instead of inhuman, instead of being nasty towards each other. We don't live long like that. We live happy like that. Us as musicians, we speak many languages to everybody. So,
The universal language.
Yes.
What's going on?
The carpet is drenched with some sort of, I think it's definitely coolant. But I don't know how it's getting in there, so we would have to figure that out.
What's happening with the dashboard readers?
The dashboard reader is just getting a little iffy.
Like, what's it doing?
It just doesn't read as much as it should anymore. It doesn't, and it kind of flickers on and off. And I think she's getting down to she knows this is the big moment.
It's 10:14, 95 degrees out. We're in Las Vegas. It's a Friday night. Hotels are absorbent prices, $190 up. So now what happens?
Yeah, I've got an idea though.
Our worst ideas ever. We could go to the top and sleep on the top of the parking lot. Why are we here right now?
The state of the unity is questionable.
Totally questionable.
That sun is hot. Oh.
Show, we signed autographs, we cried, we were celebrities. The next night
We slept in the penthouse.
Yeah, we slept in the penthouse, and the next night we were homeless. Funny how things can change on a dime.
I hate to say that we had entered into a time period that was defined, unfortunately, not by the values that we hold as a country, but the ability that we have to judge each other, but that's where we were. And at that time, I just was afraid that it could turn ugly.
Moving more towards the possibility of equity. And so as we're pushing towards equity, we're actually destroying identities. Equality actually destroys the identities that many people were founded on. People who were founded and have their identities founded in inferiority are as threatened as people whose identities were founded in superiority. Loss of status lights up the same parts of your brain as does a gun to the head or a knife to your throat. It is a life-threatening event. Equality actually is a life-threatening event for many people. What's on the other side of this chaos is unpredictable, is unknowable, and so it is threatening to everyone. So what's going to make it possible to get to the other side is a vision, is a sense of hopefulness and a vision of what is possible. And so it's not building a shared narrative of a future. It's building a narrative of a shared future, a narrative in which we know that regardless of what we're doing, our commitment is to create a space so that everybody has fundamentally equitable access to the resources, opportunities, relationships that they need to survive, to thrive, and make full contribution. And if we haven't committed to that, then there's going to be chaos because people don't know what's going to happen on the other side. And so dissensus and a narrative of a shared future is what's going to allow us to get through this. And most folks don't know how to do that because we think if somebody disagrees with us, that means that they don't like us, or that there's something wrong with either us or them because we think differently.
Our light went out, didn't it? So what just happened?
Pulled over.
Where?
A headlight that went out about 60 miles ago, and it's midnight, so obviously we're not going to find anywhere to get a headlight in the next 20 minutes.
What did the cops say to us?
We got a headlight out.
And then they said, what's up with the writing on the car?
Yeah. I thought I had an extra headlight.
Throughout this tour, a lot of things felt serendipitous, and this was one of those moments where we were traveling to Cleveland for my Uncle Dennis's celebration of life, which happened to be the exact same week as the RNC. And we felt like this was one of those moments where we just had to check it out.
Geographically speaking, we know the RNC is going on. I know there's a lot of energy around the RNC because the political season, we've been listening to it on the radio. We know that this is an insane political year. We've picked up on that theme. I said to Jillian, there's this really great place in Cleveland called Rising Star. I would really like to go get a coffee before we hit the road, which would have required us to take a right.
And I looked at him, I was like, babe, absolutely not. I just was in touch with the venue. They're in Kentucky. We're 7 hours away. If we leave now, we're just going to make it. Babe, I don't know if this is a good idea. First off, we have to be in Kentucky for a show tonight, and I know how long you take with things like this.
Look, as long as we don't spend more than 10 minutes, I think we're going to be fine. I think Rising Star is close enough to downtown Cleveland to where we can get a vibe of what's going on at the RNC. I'm just feeling really called to go there at this time, so I think we have to go for it.
To a mile and a half away.
Yeah, we're 4 minutes away.
And you're starting to feel a little funny.
No, I don't want to get stuck downtown. That'd be a disaster. It was going to be super dangerous. At the time, there was a whole movement of people that wanted to carry their rifles.
On your side, with Northeast Ohio's best coverage, this is News Channel 5.
Our Sarah Molina found out who plans to pack heat. She joins us live from Public Square.
There are groups on both sides who plan to carry guns openly while they're here in Cleveland.
This looming concept of violence was definitely very prevalent. So this is all going through my head in a matter of seconds. So I'm like, right or left, right or left, right or left. And I'm like, we're going right.
Exit 193, be on the left onto West 25th Street and US 6 East, then turn right.
I was like, what? Babe, was like, you're gonna have to call the people. And at that point, I was like, fine, you've lost it. You're on your own. I'm not helping you at all.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to call and cancel the show. I was like, I'm not happy with you for your little coffee shenanigans.
It's gonna be awesome. And we have to be there. And it's called opportunity, you know? Something comes up bigger than what we were gonna have, so boom, off we go. As you turn the corner, it was just like, there was just tons of stuff. So we pull up to Rising Star, and there's parking nowhere, but there's this one parking spot right across from the cafe. Literally, somebody knocks on the window. We roll it down, and she's like, "This is amazing. Are you guys the third art display for the day?" And we're like, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course, like, we're here to be, you know, the art display.
We're in Ohio City, just right outside of downtown, and the RNC is happening. And we're at one of the greatest coffee shops, Rising Star.
And we're like, and then we look over to the right, and there's it's surreal. There's a giant balloon dome that says Truth, and it's called the Truth Booth. And the Truth Booth people are like, "Oh yeah, glad you're here." And we're like,
"We're the Unity Car."
We're here with the Unity Car. People sign it. They're like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That goes along with the concept. Like, this will be really great."
Unity Car.
And then literally within a minute of us pulling up and getting out of the car, like, they pull this giant thing off of this entire ice sculpture that says the American Dream being presented in Cleveland at the time. The idea is we're more united than we are divided, so we're asking people to put their message about unity. In the end, we're all going to our car off on eBay for a children's concert.
This is what my parents taught me. That's what time, what you want in life. This is what my parents taught me. Your word is your bond, you do what you say. This is what my parents taught me.
Photographers everywhere. They're all taking pictures. The melting ice sculpture's happening. The Truth Booth is happening.
The Unity Car is right there.
And I'll never forget, all I hear is like this lady screaming, "I love it, I love it, I love it." And it's like...
And she's wearing these white, awesome, big sunglasses with this amazing colored skirt and a cool top.
May Cleveland be the beginning of hope and peace with the power of art. XOXO.
Thank you so much for signing the Unity Car.
I am, it's my privilege.
Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Cleveland was a turning point for us.
I mean, there was incredible resistance to this, extraordinary resistance to this. First, that it was negative. Second, that it was political. People are walking out, they're excited, they're energized. They think we should do this more often. I feel like this is one of the proudest things I've ever done in my life. I'm really, this is, you know.
High five it.
I helped give birth to this, and it makes, I really think my parents would be proud.
I've never seen anything in my entire life like this. It was one of the most incredible, peaceful demonstrations I've ever been a part of.
And what did you write?
I wrote, in German, Einheit braucht Vielfalt. Unity needs diversity. Unity means coming together to create a better world full of peace and love instead of hate.
It wasn't until later, but I look back at Cleveland now, and it was like, at that point, we had realized through such visceral reaction that we were getting from people, we were going to be the counter-narrative to what was going on in 2016. And I think that Cleveland set that in us. It was our responsibility to be a counter-narrative of love, and compassion, and hope in a very dark, tumultuous time in U.S. history.
Unity is only found when we understand our differences and when we listen.
Take care of each other through arts, music, health, love, compassion, and in a time we need it more than any other time in history.
I think what happens in Cleveland can have a throw weight
way beyond Cleveland. And this is a time to find ways of bringing this call for action forward. That's the way America grows. That's the way progress has always happened.
These are things that we all stand for, and this is basically the premise of the United States of America.
I'm going, wow, this is revolutionary.
Together we rise, apart we fall.
Humans are built to tell and hear stories. The genus Homo has been on this planet for 2 million years. And for at least 1 million of those years, we had language. So we've been telling stories to each other for a long time. Stories help people empathize and see other perspectives. This is what I've learned as an educator in 50 years of working on this. People respond to stories. And of course, one way to tell a story is in music.
And it was like that emotion, that energy that we were in Cleveland, literally launched the entire resolution, the new direction.
Can you explain what just happened?
I'm not really sure.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's been some awesome people, so we're gonna make some connections and maybe meet up next week in Philadelphia. Charna was like, well, I have family in Philadelphia, you're going to the DNC, right? And we're like, yeah, we're going to the DNC, of course, like that's the plan. She's like, I've already got all the American Dream, we're working on that, we're got that. You're gonna stay here, you're gonna show up, you're gonna do a performance here, and we're like, oh, I love you, Charna, like whatever you need us to do, like we are in on this.
The history of the past is but one long struggle upward to equality. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Here we go. Welcome to the post-show show.
Thanks everyone for coming out tonight.
Tonight.
We'd like to say a few words about freedom. We need it.
It's the unity card.
It's the unity card.
This is success right now.
So we were in downtown in kind of this public square, and then there was the convention for the DNC, which was at one of the arenas closer to the airport, and we didn't really know where to go. We didn't really know what the direction was going to be.
I saw on the sidewalk where we turned down a road. It's a perfect July day. It's the end of July. And we turned down this road and I see on my right-hand side, it's Westboro Baptist with signs. And on my left-hand side, it's a sea of people in colors, singing, playing drums with signs. We're in the Unity car. What's happening is we're still moving forward. The cops are signing it. It's chaotic.
We gotta make this I feel like I can start again. I'm feeling with my heart again. There's so much beauty in this world, just laying around now. I feel like I can start again. I'm feeling with my heart again. There's so much beauty in this world, just laying around.
We're moving, people are passing one by one, the Sharpie to the next person, and they're walking / running with the car as we're moving. Thank you. Here. Thanks.
But what I really think was amazing is that we pulled up into this super tense situation and everybody's completely disarmed. Everyone's kind of like having a moment.
Thank you. That was insane. I have chills right now. That was like a miracle. look. I literally have chills everywhere.
This concept of using art as a stimulus for conversation was really powerful. And in its subtleness, it was able to bring people together of all walks and spectrums of life, because you just see it and you have to engage it wherever you're coming from.
The cops are signing it. Everybody wanted to sign it.
That was awesome.
Whoa, whoa. I had chills everywhere. This is the quintessential moment for the Unity Collective. And it was like fear and love, and the love was so overwhelming.
We aren't necessarily attuned to wonder, but it's actually one of the things that art really does. In peace building, in justice seeking, it's one of the places where people find themselves in unity, because we can wonder together around this third thing, around this object where there is no clearly defined meaning.
Together we rise, apart we fall.
I think sometimes people think that social revolutionaries have to be unfun and so dedicated and boring and everything else. There's a lot of ways to touch people, and they're doing it. They're facilitating connections and storytelling. And I think that's what the Unity Tour and the signing of the car, and just providing a way of people to connect that they wouldn't otherwise.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
We need more people like you in the world.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Wow, listen, I love it. This is amazing. I wish I could do something like this, but...
Hey, start small, start in your community. Seriously, community is unity.
Dude, nice meeting you, man.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. What does unity mean to you?
It's very important. It's the most important thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
We are all one family on this earth, and we have an enormous and unending capacity to love. And where we are in time and history, if we don't get it together, the earth will consume us. And so we just have to be really creative and putting that message out, and putting the message out about unity and about the realities of it.
All right, well, I think we got some work to do.
Somebody to sign a Unity car.
You like our car? Do you guys want to sign it? Yes?
Yay!
Why do you have people sign the car?
This car has been on the road for 249 days in a row, collecting signatures from all 50 states in America. You guys are the 50th state. You will be the official 50th state. You will sign it in West Virginia! Can you believe it? Did you sign it? What did you say?
Unity of participation. Unity is positivity.
Where there's unity, there's strength.
Keep praying and keep singing, you know.
Never give up.
Don't be afraid to be who you are. Have heart and believe in yourself.
Spread the joy.
It's not the greatest thing you've ever seen.
It's awesome.
You got your music, you got your community, you got your collaboration. If it's those three, we did our job. as we were going through the motions of our journey, we were learning all these amazing lessons. We're getting more signatures, and now people are getting more interested in what's going on, and we're being refined, and we're getting our message more honed in because we're learning more about people day to day and what their stories are. But yet we're just trying to physically present ourselves from situation to situation because just the artwork now itself is speaking for itself without having to go into extreme detail.
And we get a call, and it's Melissa Millay on the phone, and she's one of the head anchors at Washington, D.C., NBC Channel 4. Great, can't wait. Oh, it'll be so great. Thanks so much, Melissa. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye.
What's just happened quickly, phone? It's gonna die.
NBC Washington Channel 4 News tomorrow. We're going live.
We have an inspiring story about a different kind of road trip. Melissa Millay is here now with that story. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning. This is a really, really cool thing. So the morning commute, of course, can be tough everywhere. But what if you were driving all over the U.S. to help someone else? I met a couple heading all 50 states by car for charity, and wait till you see what they're gathering and giving along the way.
Jillian and Nathaniel took off in their 2002 Volvo wagon back in January.
So we are out on the road proving that we are more united than we are divided.
Hey everybody, I'm Gavin DeGraw, sitting with a couple members of the band, the Bergamot.
U93 is proud to present the Bergamot. The car has turned into a piece of art as a symbol of hope. At each stop, an impromptu concert on the Volvo's roof, usually, before they invite the curious to scroll inspiring messages on the Unity car.
And there was this one time back in November, and your hands were holding my sweater, and I touched your face with my hand. The fears you know of growing old.
The car has turned into a piece of art, one Jillian and Nathaniel want to share with the world, they say, as a symbol of hope.
Welcome to State of the Unity Week 16. We are in Alaska.
The messages are heartwarming, the reactions touching.
It's just such a cool thing. Look at this. I mean, look at it.
I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
Feel good about it.
In October, the car will be auctioned off. All money will go to Memorial Children's Hospital in their hometown of South Bend, Indiana.
And this message of be good, spread joy, I mean, we can all get on board with that, right?
As we were walking down the street, broken corners of you and me. But in this world, our love is free. But you've got, oh, you've got.
October 2015, right after we lost Grandpa Weber. Actually, we're standing up against that garage door.
So what's up? Where is all this stuff going?
This is it. We're taking the Unity car back to South Bend, and that's it. We do the national grand finale show on October 22nd at the Performing Arts Center.
It's crazy to think that right now we could be sitting in New York talking about how we should have done as Unity Collective USA and how we're actually out here doing it.
It is officially 5:43 a.m. We just got into South Bend.
Here we are.
I am happy to welcome them home as they join me here this morning on 16 Morning News. How exciting. Good to see you both.
It's so good to see you.
They are fresh off the road. They were just in New York City finishing up their 50-state Unity tour. Congratulations, guys. You did it.
Thank you so much.
At the end of this journey, we needed something to rally around. And we thought there would be no better place in the world than to go home to our hometown in South Bend, Indiana, and bring the message of unity that we had cultured out on the Unity Collective.
David, in all of your years of peace and conflict, study and teaching, do you think unity is possible?
Unity is possible. 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 Unity is possible.
guess it depends on what you consider to be unity. Is unity possible? Depends on how you define unity. Again, if you define unity as consensus, not only do I think it's not possible, but I think it's not valuable. I think it's not helpful. If unity is a space where dissensus is honored and where different ways of thinking are valued and incorporated and built upon, then absolutely I think that that's possible. Unity is possible outside of most of the boundaries that we have currently constructed for it. Conflict is two ideas trying to share space. What often happens is we try to punish the person for having a different idea, or we try to make them change their ideas. And what unity requires, or at least invites, is that we think about changing the space.
Unity is not homogeny. Homogeny was not the message that we were trying to preach when we were out on the road. It is actually through diversity in this country that we have achieved our greatest accomplishments. I think that the U.S. stands as a beacon of diversity, and the Unity Collective was reminding people that in diversity we are united, that we have to try and understand each other rather than judge each other.
We have a systemic problem in our culture today, and it's driven by political divide in the media, divide in our communities. And I believe that as a human being, that me and other human beings, we have more in common with each other above all that stuff. And I think that it's important to get back to the human element of empathy for each other. And that's why I did the Unity Collective. I believe so deeply that beyond all the politics, beyond all the things, we are more in common than we think.
I look for people to participate politically. That puts you in touch with other people, many of whom will not be like you. They won't live where you live. Maybe they are interested in other things, but it requires you to get outside your comfort zone.
And I think there's a lot of ways to do that. I'm doing it in an academic way. They're doing it with music and the Unity Tour, and other people are doing it other ways. That gives me great hope, that there are multiple ways to do this, and there are multiple people out there doing it. And I'm so glad that Jillian and Nate are two of them.
I feel like we're blazing somewhat of a trail in a way that I feel like it's a conversation that needs to happen. And I think that a lot of what we've done and what we're talking about and the conversations that we've had with people out on the road around the car, we'll go to Salt Lake City and we're meeting with people we don't even know and they're telling us their life stories. Those conversations need to continue around the country, and that's how you bring about unity. And so, we really just want to kind of remind people that unity starts with you, and you are the one who can make it happen. You're the one who can change your own community. And so we want to just tonight let that be a beacon of hope, and then that be a celebration point for the whole thing. So we're excited.
Yeah, can't wait. Great. All right, well, I'm going to say goodbye by showing everybody the dressing room one more time.
You know, people want to feel like I made my mark on the world, and sometimes that mark is a literal mark, right? I wrote on this card, that's me. I did that.
Hi, Lauren. Nice to meet you. This is beautiful. This world needs someone like you guys to go out and really just bring everyone together, because without that and like enough awareness to really show, I mean, this is proof. You know what I'm saying? It's like actual proof. I think it's so beautiful, you guys. I mean, it's touching, because in a time like this, when so much negative stuff is going on, I mean, we're really able to see, okay, these are the people that care, and you know, it gives people hope, and it gives people like that drive to still go out there. And I mean, after this, I feel like, wow, I can actually do more. I can put more into my community. I can do something now, because it's just, I mean, wow, I can't. It's so touching.
I actually think that car presented a metaphor that was really brilliant. People wondered whether there's space to incorporate your narrative if my narrative is already there. And the car presents this brilliant metaphor of how, in fact, people can see that happening in the moment and know that their narrative isn't diminished by the presence of somebody else's narrative in the same space, and that both of those narratives can go forward and be carried into other communities all throughout the nation. So the metaphor that the car created was actually brilliant for that.
All right, let's welcome them, Nathaniel, Jillian, and Dalton. Come on up, Dalton. Dalton's kind of bright too. There's Dalton, come on up. Editor and assistant director. You all know Nathaniel and Jillian. And I'm just gonna let you know, we're gonna set this Q&A up a little bit off center of the stage, because while we're talking, they're gonna set up for the concert. So our wonderful Jeremy Ferguson and Shane are gonna get everything set up. So we're gonna be a little off center. Get comfortable. Bill, do you have their microphones or do I? Here we go. The beauty of live theater. I don't know where their microphones, do you know where their microphones are? Top of the piano. Look inside the stool. That's something you don't hear in a theater very often, is it? Perhaps a hospital. Come and sit down. Come and sit. What'd you think? That was their first public viewing of this film. What a wonderful message. She had more costume changes than Cher, and didn't she look fabulous in all of them? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm going to fire the first question as they get you all set up with the mics. And I think it's kind of the obvious question. How did you not kill each other on that trip? Those were some tight quarters.
Very carefully. You know what? It was 27 square feet, not like I measured it out or anything, because it was super small. But we almost killed each other a few times, to be honest. No, that tight, we're married, we're high school sweethearts, we've been together for 18 years. we're best friends and we know each other in and out. Thank you. But honestly, we kept a lot of snacks on hand because we realized that if you're not hangry, you're gonna make it.
I think that one of the things that kept us going, especially on this journey, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we had some spirited conversations on our way to Sedona. We've had, there's always gonna be the tough times, but we were on a journey in this movie that changed our lives, and we hope that that communicates to the audience, and that you can see that it's the differences in opinion. Sometimes it's not always easy to hear, but it's always valuable, regardless if you agree or not. And so we would always have to center ourselves with like, hey, I don't agree with you, but I still love you.
Yeah. Or I see where you're coming from.
And so
but we're going to have to agree to disagree.
Exactly. And so working through issues in that way. So, I mean, the journey physically embodied that, but we also had to remind ourselves that it's all about, hearing each other out, really, and talking through issues, because life is difficult. And obviously, in the film, it doesn't always go to plan, so you have to work through that with your loved one. And that's the hope, that you can make it through the tough times.
I love the rawness of the film. It wasn't polished filmmaking. It wasn't polished camera work because you were taking it, I'm assuming, on your iPhones mostly?
iPhone, anything, iPad, regular camera. We had a Sony A7R II with us, which was our nice one, but we also had Nikons. It was anything you could grab because you got to catch those fleeting moments with people on the car. And some people are really intimidated. If they're signing, you've got a camera in their face. So you just have to have your iPhone out, and they're like, hey, can I do this? Like, yeah, fine. But then they forget it's there, and they'll share more.
So tell us about how many hours of footage did you have, and how did Dalton come into the picture with the editing process? What was that like, getting it down to what we saw tonight, the 84, 86 minutes?
I'm going to lead Dalton in on this, and I want you to pick up as soon as I'm done. So you did first off, I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody. This has been an absolute dream from the get-go. The introduction, I mean, I cannot say how humbled we are. But nonetheless, when we filmed this thing, we had 20 terabytes of footage. So anybody who works on footage would probably know that's in excess of 1,000 hours. Because as you could tell, we had run the camera everywhere, because we just didn't know when moments were going to happen. So it would happen on a cell phone. It would happen on a real camera. You'd be like, oh my gosh, we're driving into this like euphoric moment in Philadelphia. How are we going to film it? And it's like, oh, the camera's on my lap. Oh, and you just like, and so these moments, but this genuine thing that was coming across was so amazing. How does that connect to Sedona? So in 2019, 2020, the world collapsed on us, as you had very well painted in the beginning. And so we were really struggling. And I had spent a lot of time rehabbing this film, and it wasn't where we wanted. It's a 6-year process. So this whole film has taken us 6 years. And we had it in a place that we liked it, but it wasn't great. And so we called the best person that we knew in the world that worked on film. And we said, Dalton, we have this film. We have 20 terabytes recorded. Please don't run away. Please don't run away. I know it's a lot, and it's chaos, and it's crazy, but there's a beautiful, beautiful story, and that's where I want Dalton to come in, because we made that phone call in Sedona, and we were working on it together, and then ultimately Dalton was able to come out to Arizona and work with this film. I
got to ask Dalton a question. So when we said how much footage there was, were you a little freaked out?
I think you guys had the pandemic on your side. Like, since COVID had just started, I was like, I don't know what else I'm going to do, and I'm like not making any money, so... oh, is this better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not microphone trained yet.
We're working on it.
But yeah, no, it was a lot, but I think seriously though, like without that year of everyone being locked inside and not being able to do anything else but work from home was like perfect. And I know we spent also a lot of time in LA together, and yeah, I mean, it was a lot, but also I did have, like, you had at least laid a good groundwork for me to build off of, and yeah.
We had some moments of we had to lose ourselves in this film. I created a 6-hour version of this film, which I don't think will ever make it to theaters. But I would sit with Dalton, and we would watch everything that we had, and we just said, hey, what is this story? Help us, help us, help us. And there were moments where it was like, you guys are nuts, and this film's like, I don't know where it's going. But we just worked through it, and it was like baby steps. We would like work through the first 60 seconds. We'd be like, if we could make a great 60 seconds, this film will be like so much better. And that would be a whole week journey. And we had amazing people that are all in this audience tonight that we want to thank, that have hosted us throughout.
Shout out to the Fleegers. Inga and Don are here. We've got them here. We've got
And they so
also our parents.
graciously listened to us. And we were like, how's the film going? We're like, I think it's going good. But we've been 6 years in and we have no clue when it's going to be done. And they just open up their homes to us and say, hey, well, here's 3 more months or whatever you need. Just keep working on this thing. And we'd be like, oh, okay. I mean, I've hated this film for so long. And it's because it was something that I knew it could be, but it wasn't. And Dalton was a huge part of making this film connect. And I think in any great film, like you said, you have to connect that vibrance of real humanity and real moments with the beautiful filmmaking that Dalton is so versed in, the transitions, the edits, and I mean, we could go on all night, but it's just that relationship. I hope that the film communicates the fact that this is a beautiful blend of multiple ideas and also multiple editing, and in the end, a film came out of it, and we're very, very proud of it.
Absolutely, and you should be. Nice round of applause for Dalton. Way to go, my friend. And I'm going to make my way down there so they can ask questions, but I'm going to commend you because what I loved about this is you didn't make it political. You didn't take a political side. When I saw the film the first time and you're going to the Republican National Convention, I'm like, oh God, here we go. Here it's going to go the political way.
Yeah.
And then you were going to the Democratic National Convention. So it was that a conscious decision all the way along? How did that kind of come about?
So we knew that ultimately 2016 was a political year. That's what launched us to even do this. And when we were out there on the road, it was not conscious in the way that we thought, oh, we're going to really plan this out. As you saw, we didn't know we were even going to go to the Republican National Convention. We didn't know we were going to go to the Democratic National Convention. It unfolded in front of us. Everything you see happened in raw, real time, which is really cool that you mentioned that. But in the editing, the back end, there were lots of joyful and also at point heated arguments about what do we put in here, because we were rolling all the time. So we were listening to the radio, there was just a lot and it was overwhelming, and we didn't want any one side to feel like, oh, well, they like dissed my side, or well, that this doesn't represent me, because ultimately this is about unity. This is way above politics. Politics is a binary system that ultimately points two tribes against each other. We're all going for the same goal, which we ultimately forget. So we really wanted the message to be clear. This is above politics. This is about love. This is about loving yourself. It's about loving your neighbor. And it's about going out into the world and making the world a better place and reaching out to people that you adamantly disagree with. We live in a time that it's about, well, if you don't vote for my person, well, then I hate you. And it's like, no, this is crazy. Like, what are we doing? We need to walk across the line and be like, hey, where are you coming from? And you know what? Maybe I don't agree with you, but I want to understand where you're coming from and not get so hateful off the bat. It's like we are trained from the media to do that. Thank you.
Hi, welcome back to Sedona.
Thank you.
Two questions. One, how much did the car get? Like the salary of the music therapist, or what did the car bring? And two, Jillian, do you know how to drive?
Oh, get it go.
No, I was just like, I said to my husband, he's doing all the driving. Isn't he tired?
Always. I'm probably wearing a little bit of that fatigue. I've probably slept 2 hours the last 2 nights. I mean, I'm just hoping maybe my life, I don't know. I'm very tired all the time, but I mean, she's a lovely lady. I just love driving her around.
Okay, well, let's get real, people. I load the van. I'm in charge of making sure we're fed. I'm in charge of housing. I'm in charge of booking. I'm managing everything. So, I like a chauffeur.
Yeah. Hey.
And as far as the car, I'll let you talk.
So, beautiful story about the car. So, we didn't, as you can tell in the film, we didn't have a lot of ideas about a lot of the stuff. We were like, 50 states, of course, unity. Get people together, of course. Like, that made sense when nothing else made sense to us. We're musicians. What do? We bring people together. Why do we do that? Because we love music and we love watching people. We want to lift people up through a difficult time because this is our moment. This is our life. This is what we get. And so one of the things that happened throughout the journey is we were inspiring people. They were actually contacting the hospital. You saw the Channel 4 piece. They would watch that piece, contact the hospital, and make a donation on our behalf immediately in the moment. So when we went to sell the car, we did it on eBay, and I think we raised like $2,000 or something like that. I mean, the journey was incredible, but like we were just like, how do we even do this? The car's falling apart. Like, how do you even sell a piece of art like that? Because it technically is a car and you can drive it, but like you probably shouldn't, you know? So you had to put it in the eBay, but we were able to raise enough money from all the awareness. We had people that came out of the woodworks, just like here in Arizona, that came and helped us along the way to get this film done. When we were out there promoting the cause, people would just call the hospital and make a donation and say, I want to help this music therapist because I heard about the Bergamot on Channel 4. And by the end of the journey, it was kind of crazy. I felt like the actual sale of it, the commoditization of the car and the sale of it, meant really nothing because so many things had already happened. And we were just like so full of love and happiness for the whole process. And now that car, most importantly, is in North Carolina, owned by an art collector. And it's kind of bounced around, and it's finally in the hands of somebody who really appreciates it. And so that's how the car went on to its next life. And now it exists in a very safe place, and we hope to have it on the road with us at some point because we'd love to continue to share it with people. But it's very financially expensive to put a car on a...
It's got 320,000 miles on it now.
And it doesn't really drive
so we're like, okay.
so much anymore.
How often did you wash the car? And were you worried about signs and things coming off?
We didn't wash it a lot. We were pretty freaked out about that, actually. When it would hail, and it did quite a lot, obviously, we all are living through these times where the weather patterns are wild. And that year was breaking unprecedented records while we were literally driving around with rain, hail, huge tornadoes. Like, we were literally driving through that and had to like pull over at different times. Those freaked us out the most. And I would go over some of the messages with a Sharpie, or I would some would fade and I couldn't get them back, but I would try to restore some of them along the way. I was kind of the keeper of the messages, and it was very important to me to try and keep as many. But we got to the point where the whole outside of the car was full, and we opened up the whole inside interior of the car for people signing, and under the hood, and on the engine, which my best friend's dad actually signed that. He was like, hey, has anybody signed the engine? I'm like, that's a great idea.
And one of the, I'll just touch on that real quick. One of the things that was a really big concern for me in the beginning was like, how are we going to preserve this thing? Like, everything has to be preserved perfectly. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, no, it doesn't. Like, life is not preserved. We are not preserved, right? Like, this journey that we're on is all temporary. I mean, theoretically, right? Like, it has a beginning and an end. And so my thought with the car was, these signatures are going to show up, hopefully exist for a long time. What I thought was really cool was that when someone would, like, you'd think, like, that people would just write all over each other's. But what happened was this amazing thing that maybe somebody would see that somebody else's message was fading and they'd fill it in, or we would fill it in. And so it was like the story of this film tells the same story of those signatures, and I wanted to let that happen. As opposed to being afraid, I was like, we're going to embrace it. If something disappears, maybe it wasn't meant to be there for long, just like life. You know, sometimes somebody comes into your life and they're gone, and why does it happen like that? But it's not always up to us to ask questions. Sometimes we just have to embrace. And that's what we did with the signatures, was like, these things are going to disappear, but somehow it became this medley of human interaction, and the most beautiful human interaction. Even when we showed this thing where it was disgraced by gang in Akron, Ohio, people turned that into something else. Somebody else would write something different in there, and all of a sudden this horrible thing turned into this like angel with wings, and all of a sudden it was something beautiful. So that was a process we had to let go and embrace, and it really taught us a lot about life, but also this idea that it's okay to let go.
Question up here in the balcony, stage right.
Hi there. I've spent a fair amount of time in Santa Monica at the terminus of the red car line. I was kind of a train freak. And the terminus of the red car line in Santa Monica is called Bergamot Station. Is that where you got your name? That's question one. And question two is, how the heck did you put that many clothes, Jillian, in one or two suitcases? Girlfriend.
Girl, efficiency. Great question. So when we were in college, we actually both were Division I athletes, and we were in college and we'd be going to workouts, but we would take time to do lunch together at this little co-op. And one of the days we went to the co-op, he found this is like in 2008, before people really knew what essential oils were, or like the cool people knew what essential oils were. He
At least
discovered, yeah.
In the Midwest, where we're from.
Yeah,
it
we're
was
from
like
Indiana,
essential
so
oils,
that
and-
no one heard of that. So he like found these little bottles, and they're like, oh, he's like, after lunch I smelled all of them, and I bought one. I'm like, what did you buy? What is it? And he's like, it's an essential oil called Bergamot. And he's like, it's used to like induce happiness and like uplift your spirit. And I was like, I want to smell it. And it just smelled so good. It smelled like summer. Anyway, so then a couple months later, we were trying to come up with like a band name. And he's like, well, what if we call ourselves the Bergamot? And I'm like, no, that's a terrible name. Then I was like, I don't know, like I've never heard of it. And he's like, no, that'll like work towards our like vibe later on. And so we decided to name our band the Bergamot. I love it now because it's got such a great, spirit and message behind it.
But Bergamot Station was found later on when you do like name research. We were like, oh, we're going to be the Bergamot. And then we were like, oh, essential oil, induces happiness, relieves stress. We're like, yes, this is us. And so we did some research, and the only thing that came across was Bergamot Station, which was an art gallery and a stop on the train line, which is cool because we take pictures when we go to LA and we get on the train and right outside Santa Monica. And it's an amazing space. So we thought that was actually maybe some synergy. We were like, we're both doing creative things. They didn't seem to have anything. We were the Bergamot, they were Bergamot Station. That's a great question because it was something that came up very early on, but it was only later on that we noticed it. And we thought, if anything, maybe it was like, we could have like a symbiotic relationship. Now there's all sorts of Bergamot. It's much more popular now. I feel like the analytics are getting more difficult, but there's Bergamot everywhere. But that's a good thing that I think it's good when people associate with something.
And for my outfits, it's called like a capsule collection. So I would wear like a lot of different things and then just mix them up. I had one backpack of clothes and I had to roll the outfits up to fit in there. So.
I really liked the professors and how you put them together to make the story. How did that come about?
Initially, when we started the film, we just thought we were going to film everything. And I created this 6-hour thing. And we're like, okay, this is something. It's not a film, but it's something. It could be like maybe an abstract art catalog or something. And we very quickly thought the only way to gel this is, one, to put someone like Dalton in and to interview people with professional cameras and professional equipment and kind of like a catharsis. In the film, you get these moments, I think, even personally watching it myself, you get catharsis where there's chaos and it's like this iPhone is shaky and everything's just moving, and then, okay, let's bring some sanity to this moment and context. So it was, from the get-go, we always thought we might add that, but we had interviewed one professor and a congresswoman, and there's a whole story behind this film about production teams and directions, and that could go on and on. But different people interviewed different teams interviewed different people, and then those were kind of put together. And then we had all these interviews, and we had to kind of make a story out of it. And then Jillian had the idea to interview David Hooker from the University of Notre Dame at the time, and those just felt like necessary things for the film, and it really took us a long time to gel because they were all saying the same thing, but in like totally different ways. Like in the end of the film, the congressman was talking about like people vote, and then Pat Ashton's talking about like, and I do it through academic, and David's like, and people have to go out, and so, but finding it seems seamless in the film because of the work of Dalton, but when we had it all, we were like, I think it connects, but he did an amazing job of weaving those together, and that's how and why those were added, because it was catharsis, and it also gave Dalton really good footage to work with that gelled it all together, and I think he did an incredible job of making it work in a way that it told the story and also engaged in, I hope, kept you entertained for at least 87, maybe 88 minutes.
Question right here in the back row.
Yeah, hi. It was very impressive. I mean, you two represent unity for sure. One of the questions I want to ask, you said that you did over 300,000 miles, right? Was it a Volvo?
It was. How did you know?
You should get an agent and have them show this to Volvo and do a commercial, because that's a good example of how good that car is.
Funny thing that you mentioned that. So when we started the tour, we started by doing a Kickstarter to raise money to buy the gear. We had a professional camera and we needed a laptop. And then we didn't have any money left. And we were like, okay, well, we're driving a Volvo. So we actually reached out to Volvo and they said,
you know, that's not really the direction we're going as a company right now. Ooh. So I was like, okay, not gonna touch that, but we're gonna continue to do the Unity thing. Don't know what Volvo's doing these days, but they were like.
But we ended up, it was pretty cool. We actually love this car. I mean, it's still going. But we had fans draw over Volvo and write Unity. So it's now known as the Unity car.
Hi, I don't have a question for you, more of an impact statement. I'm going to try to do this without falling apart. I was at the Minimalists in Phoenix, and you guys were there opening for them, and I saw you, and the first thing you guys opened for them, and you were absolutely adorable, and I just love you too, and it was just such a great performance. And then the Minimalists came on, and I did not know this, but they're special guests that they brought in. We thought we were going there to find out how to like unjunk our stuff and like get rid of stuff. And the guest that they had in their show was the woman about adapting and overcoming grief. And I had just lost my husband prior to this, like a month previous to this, so I wasn't prepared for the overcoming the grief that I went through that night. And it was an overcoming my grief moment, and I just want you guys to know that you impacted me because you were part of that night, and your love and your just beauty together is just a part of that night that I was able to overcome and just becoming able to just accomplish what I've done with losing him. And I just want you to know that you were a part of that night, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. It's very brave of you to share that with us, and we both deeply appreciate you and are so, so, so happy that you are here tonight, sharing in the love, showing up, and stepping in your vulnerability and being courageous. So thank you so much.
Question right here, Susan.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
What's
hey.
up? I have a question. So in Portland, you guys had this break-in, and you had the break-in, and it started playing a song, and it was obvious that you wrote that song about the experience. And you guys look exhausted the whole time. Like, where do you find time to write a song? How long does it take when you have an experience to, like, create a song from that? And when do you find the time to do it?
It's a great question. It fills up the cracks that happen in life. Be like, oh, got 2 days off here, gonna work on a chorus, gonna work on a verse, gonna work on whatever. But songwriting to me, like I said in the beginning of the film, has always been a part of me. So it's always just happening. It's not super prolific, except in Sedona. And I wanted to, this is a great, actually, chance that I wanted to say something about this beautiful city, is that when we came here in 2020, obviously we lost everything. And we had just released an album called Mayflies, which was our heart and soul. That song you're referring to is a song called 1 Mile. And it's like a really important song to the whole kind of manifesto of this thing. And so we just released that, and we were really burnt out on studio time, because you kind of get burnt out on it. It's a lot of like, you know, put your head this way and make, okay, don't squeak. And, you know, it's like, it's a way of life, and being out on the road is like free form. You know, you get a release from that. So we had to go back in the studio, and in Sedona I wrote 42 songs, night after night, because it was like, I just couldn't deal with the depression and the anger and frustration that I felt that we had just lost the One Republic show. And like, we had this life that we thought we had, and it was gone immediately. Like, it was just kind of like a week in Austin of taking phone calls, and it was just like, hey, how you doing? Oh, yeah, those 7 are gone. Okay, good. And you're like, oh, yeah, got another phone call. Oh, it's the big one. All right, yeah, that show. Okay, that one's gone. So it was like, I couldn't even face that energy. It was so bad. But Sedona allowed us and Jeff and Deborah opening up your home to just write and write and write. And those songs, so many of the songs now are in the film and are so vital to the film. But it was like, I would just look out over the Sedona Red Rocks, and it would be like, you know, we need a song over 180 BPM. I don't know why, but then when it came to sourcing songs, and Dalton was a huge part of that. I can't say how much Dalton did for helping us choose songs. they were all there, and it was all recorded in Sedona. You know, so many of the songs that were, the song Make It Last, which is when we're driving down, and it's got to make this last, you got to, you know.
The thing about that song is we did 100 days live from Sedona, from the Flieger's house, and we were performing literally all of these songs and new songs that were being written as like the day of, and we're like, hey, you want to hear a song we just wrote today, or that he just wrote today? And so those songs are going to be like the soundtrack to this. And when you're in Sedona and you're writing music and you are getting your life back together when the world is shut down, you look up at the stars and you feel so small. And at the same time, you feel extraordinarily expansive because you realize I am made of stars as well. The molecules that we are, we're all together, we're all one. And it humbles you and it puts you in your place when you live here. Because you guys know, you look up at the stars on those spectacular nights where like the humidity is perfect and it's low and it's like crystal clear. And it's just, it inspires you to become a better artist. It inspires you to step up to the plate and to sing better, perform better, reach out to more people, write better. And so we're really excited about, we have a new album dropping this summer from an all written in Sedona.
And a couple solo albums and a bunch of other stuff that came out of the whole thing. I mean, it was wild, but yeah. So music is just always happening. Might even happen tomorrow morning from this experience tonight. So it's all the time.
This comment doesn't really fit in with what you just said about Sedona, because it is a wonderful place. But you said that Volva didn't take you as a sponsor, sponsored you. Yeah. But what about the bourbon that was always on the table?
Oh my God, that's a
That's
funny
a great
story.
question.
Either you drink too much.
I actually don't drink at all. I never drank in my life. I don't drink, and he doesn't either. And it was set there not by us, but by one of the filmmakers that was shooting that day. And that was the one thing of the entire film that I want edited out, that I will personally pay to edit out because I'm not a drinker.
But
I don't know. No offense to drinking. But.
I'll touch this just for a second. So what happened was, when you're making a film, you're dealing with a lot of personalities. I'm sure anybody in this audience can attest. If they've seen films or dealt with films, you're dealing with personalities, egos. So I remember the day that he brought out the booze and was like, I want to put this on set. And we were like, no. And he's like, oh,
we
well,
don't drink, man.
I don't know if we can film today. And it was like, so you're going to make this like a thing? And it was like, yeah, let's just leave him in. He's like, I can edit him out later. Well, he's not on the project anymore, but the footage that he captured was so beautiful. And it was like, that's where we're at. You know, it's like, that's the, talking about, you know, how the sausage is made, I guess.
Good
but it's
eye.
like, you know, that is a question.
That's a really good eye.
Maybe some point we hope to have removed, but maybe he lied to me and it's not so easy.
Or go after them for product placement money. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
Really, honestly, let's go. Let's go for some bourbon, everybody.
I mean, you know, it's storytelling and having a drink.
Right.
It's, you know,
We've got time for one more question because I want to hear a concert, don't you all? All right, we've got Jan here is the last question, then we'll get you all set up.
Hi, I enjoyed the movie so much, and I'm wondering what you're going to do next.
Ooh.
Do I tell him?
I don't know.
Should I?
Okay.
This is dangerous.
We've got a crazy idea that we haven't told anybody.
There's phones
Do you really
on
want? Okay.
things.
Okay. There's two things. One, the album's dropping this summer. Super excited about that. We're going to be going on tour all over America. And then after that, we did talk to Dalton briefly. Remember the idea that Nathan came up with? Do you want to tell him?
All right, so band, you know, getting ready to go out on the road. Here's the premise. You cannot throw away anything that is non-disposable along your tour. So the journey starts. You go to Whole Foods, you pick up some stuff, you pick up some bags. You're like, this isn't any big deal. I'm just going to use all this stuff, all these plastic. A couple weeks go by, all of a sudden now there's all this stuff in the car, and you're starting to realize that so much waste is created because it's all around us, and it's basically like mandated, right? Like you go into Subway or something, you'd be like, I don't want the wrapper, just give me the sandwich. And you'd be like, dude, I have to give you the wrapper and the plastic bag because it's and then we would just learn. And so this whole journey would be about like learning where systemic waste is happening and trying to, maybe there's ways that we could help like understand the laws better, or ways that we can like not mandate, you know, like on an airplane you have to use a new plastic cup every time you get a drink. You can't just use like your little cup. They can't pour it in because it's against the law. And so you would start to like be like, I don't want the cup, you know, after a month of touring, you got all this stuff in the car and it's starting to get smaller and smaller, and then you would just learn all about like waste and ways that you can reduce your waste and things that you could do to maybe, you know, not have all this waste. And so, and then at the end of the film, you know, you would use that and you would maybe create some sort of artwork that could help people understand that, you know, waste is with us all the time. It just doesn't disappear. And we would call the film Wasted.
Oh, nice. Nice, nice.
We're a long way
Give
away
them
from
a nice
that
round
film,
of
but
applause. Jillian, Nathaniel, and Dalton. We're going to put them to work a little bit more. Well done. Give
Thank
us
you
a
so
chance
much.
to put the microphones in the right spot. I got plenty. And by the way, we've all been sitting for quite a while right now, so if you feel like getting up, if you feel like dancing, go ahead. If any of you up there want to come in and fill in some of the empty spots down here, feel free. We're masked, so as long as the people next to you don't mind, you're welcome to move on down.
well, we've never done this before, so I mean, I hope my mind's in a pretty good place. But
Oh, from the Q&A to music? Oh, you
just
got
the
this.
film. This was, first off, it was such an amazing night. We thank you guys so much. The emotions are so intense right now, so hopefully these fingers work the way that I've taught them to. But if they don't, then please have mercy on me.
So this song is a song called 1 Mile, and this was a song that was played right after the break-in.
In a cafe up in Brooklyn, there are two people and they're falling in love. Up the street there, about a mile away, there are two people shooting up. Now the world can seem so strange when you're only 1 mile away, but we must stand tall. Together we rise, apart we fall. We left Seattle with some pictures and just a little spare change. And we left to Portland, and there were some crooks there who broke into our car and stole it away. Now the world can seem so strange when you're only 1 mile away. But we must stand tall. Together we rise, apart we fall. Fall asleep, my dear, with the winds of Santa Fe. I run my fingers through your hair as the curtains sway. And 1 mile down, they are bowling guns and raids on our brothers who don't look the same. Now the world can seem so strange when we're only 1 mile away, but we must stand tall. Together we rise, apart we fall. Apart we fall. 'Cause the world's a different place, 1 mile away, 1 mile away. 'Cause the world's a different place, 1 mile away, 1 mile away. But we must stand tall, together we rise, apart we fall. Apart we fall. Apart we fall.
Thank you so much. You did good, babe. After the Q&A to that, I'm impressed. There's a lot of notes in that. So this next song is a very special song. It was gifted to me by Nathaniel halfway through the tour. He called me into the room and he said, "Hey, I've got something for you." This was after the break-in. This was right after we found out that my Uncle Dennis had passed away, who was very, very dear to me and impacted my life a lot, both of our lives a lot. And so he wrote this song to me. It's called Periscope, and it's a love song, and it's a love song about the hardships you go through together. And I remember listening to him play this for me for the first time, and I was just crying. There's so many tears. I was like, my face, I couldn't see anything. I could just hear the words, and it was like the world stood still. And I think we need more love songs that are genuine and authentic and real about the challenges of love, because it's difficult, but you guys know that it's like a garden, and you have to tend to it. You have to love each other. You have to love yourself so that you can love the other person, and this one's Periscope. And it also goes out to our good boy here, Jeff Fleeger, who it's his birthday. This is one of his favorites.
Well, there I lie awake with you. It's nothing new, like an old cartoon flickering on the TV. And through a periscope I see our lives. In my eyes I know we'll be alright, we'll be alright. 'Cause I've been waiting on you all my life, all my life. I've been frustrated and blue, but I never knew how much I love you, how much I love you. And the 3 words I held on to, I love you, please see me through. When the world is getting me down, and when the summer sun beams down on us, broken up with rust, with all our trust, we'll let go, we'll let go. There will come a time, looking down the line, truth will be hard to find. But don't be afraid, these troubles, they won't. won't stay the same. We'll be okay. 'cause I've been waiting on you. Now all my life, I've been frustrated and blue. But I never knew, 'cause I've been waiting on you. Now all my life, I've been frustrated and blue. But I never knew how much I love you. How much I love you. Woo! Cause I've been waiting on you all my life, I've been frustrated and blue, but I never knew how much I love you, how much I love you. Now those wise men, they say that only fools fall in love. But I can't help just falling in love, just falling in love, just falling in love.
No wise men, they say, only fools fall in love. Oh, but I can't help falling in love, just falling in love, falling in love, falling in love, falling in love, falling in love. With you.
Thank you so much. I cannot tell you how long we've been looking forward to this. So many amazing people in the room tonight that have helped us throughout our journey. We can't say thank you enough, seriously. And this is our last song, and this has just been a dream. Our hearts are. There you go. Yeah, I was just seeing if you were paying attention, and you were. So no, our hearts are
What
just.
are you trying to say?
Our hearts
over
are
there?
our hearts are just so full of gratitude, and we thank you all for being here tonight. And yeah, we love you all, and hopefully we'll see you again.
This song is called Paradise, and it was written in Sedona, and this is our paradise. We love it here. We love all of you guys and gals. Thank you so much for having us. Another big round to Sedona International Film Festival, all the volunteers, Jeremy and Shane working on all the sound, making us look good. Special thanks to Dalton, too. Couldn't do this without you.
And Pat, man, thanks for taking a risk and showing this film, man. We love you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, I'm wasting all my time chasing down all these lies. I hope to give it up before the time slips away. 'Cause life is a funny thing. It rolls in that ocean breeze, rise with the morning sun and sleeps well at night. Oh, what a sight to see. fall and the thunder roll and the leaves crawl back in their holes. No one quite knows what this winter will bring. When the water turns to ice, it's a coming. The wind's blowing now and it's a numbing the hands as I hold this clock and the time of my life. It keeps passing me by. Take me to your paradise, your paradise, your paradise. Take me to your paradise. Your paradise. Woo! Well, the spring, it can come so late. I remember one time in May, it snowed with skies of gray, but no one spoke a word. 'Cause the summer, it rolls in that light, and we're sitting by that fireside. Don't rush, just take your time at Diamond Lake, for goodness sake. Take me to your paradise, your paradise, your paradise. Take me to your paradise. And just like the seasons come and go, we can't just stay the same. Take me to your paradise, your paradise, your paradise. Take me to your paradise.
Let's give it up for him on the harmonica there. That's impressive, right?
Got to work up a little sweat. Well, once again, this has been a paradise for us tonight, so we just thank you all so much for being here. We are the Bergamot, and we're going to take it home with one more. Just take me to your paradise, your paradise, your paradise. Take me to your paradise. Your paradise. Good night, Sedona.
Shine on. Thank you so much.
Jillian and Nathaniel, the Bergamot. Don't forget to vote for the film, State of the Unity, and come and meet them outside. They've got CDs for sale. They'll sign some things. Come and see them at their table. Support them. Jillian, Nathaniel, thank you all so much for being here. The Bergamot.